Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Section 3.4, last section before our first chapter 3 wonky chapter quiz. We're going to be talking about graphing lines from slope-intercept form. This video is going to be in two chunks. The first chunk, we're going to talk about what we're doing, and I'm going to show you how we're going to actually do it in our homework in these crazy times where you don't have paper all the time. The goal is to graph lines based on their equations after they're written in slope-intercept form. So up to this point, we started with slope. Then we figured out how to find the intercept. Then we put slope and intercept into one equation. Now I'm going to give you the equation and have you actually graph that line that was formed by that function. So to start, your problem looks pretty much like this, right? Graph the following equation, state the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, and I'm going to kind of walk you through step by step what it is you're going to be doing. We start with y equals negative 3x plus 2. And if you've been following along, you're probably already really comfortable with saying, oh, here's the slope, here's the intercept. But I'm going to kind of walk you through how we're going to prioritize this to make graphing make a little more sense. So we've got step one here, plot the y-intercept. Okay, and one of the things we sometimes call the y-intercept is the starting point, because when we're doing these graphs, it's the simplest, easiest place for us to start. In order to graph a line, you need exactly, or a minimum of 2 points, okay? And the easiest point to find from slope-intercept form is the intercept. So we start with the intercept, hence why we sometimes call it our starting point. Now, if we look at our equation, y equals negative 3x plus 2, we know that m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So in this case, y equals mx plus b. b is our y-intercept, so b equals 2. And that's going to be the first point that we mark. We go on the y-axis, we count up 1, 2, and there's our first point on our line. We know that the line that we're drawing has to go through that point. Step 2 then is to count out the slope from that y-intercept in order to find the second point. Remember, we need 2 points. This is how we find the second one. Now, y equals mx plus b. m is negative 3, which means my slope is negative 3 over 1. So since it's negative, I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3, go over 1, and there is my second point. And you might have noticed over here that m equals negative 3 showed up. We talked about it, I forgot to click it, sorry. But count out, down 1, 2, 3, over 1. That's our slope of negative 3, connecting the red dot and the green dot. And actually, speaking of that, step 3 is simply to connect the dots, and that is the line. That's the line that you would draw to graph this function, okay? And that's it. Like, I'd like to make this more complicated than that, but that's really it. You find that starting point, whatever b is, count out the slope, connect the dots, okay? Stuff you've been doing since kindergarten at that point. Now, the hard part's plotting the 2 points, but then after that, drop a ruler down your paper and connect the dots. Mr. Young, I don't have graph paper. Don't worry, that's what the second video is for. This one's just talk about the concept of what it is we're doing, okay? All that in mind, kind of pause the video, and just at the very least, I want you to think about this process one more time. If you have to go back and watch that first part again, but kind of like point to your screen and kind of just imagine as best as you can where these points are going to go before I just show you how to do another example. Pause, take a moment, think about that. Excellent. So hopefully, again, step 1, y-intercept, b equals negative 3. Okay, so I'm starting off on the y-axis, counting down 1, 2, 3. And there is my first point, 0, negative 3. That's the first point, that's the starting point, that's the y-intercept. From there, I count out the slope. In this case, the slope is 1/2. Okay, so the slope is up 1 over 2. Rise 1, run 2. And sure enough, there is my second point. Okay. Step 3, only need 2 points to make a line, so I connect the dots, and there is another line. All right? That's what we're doing. These 3 steps. Plot the y-intercept, count out the slope, connect the dots. Write those things down, go on to the next video. Love you.